Let's start then with Scotland, whose head coach Steve Clarke has called up 3 uncapped players to his squad for the Euros this summer. David Turnbull, Billy Gilmour and Nathan Patterson are all in the 26-man squad, but the likes of Lee Griffiths, Andrew Considine and Liam Palmer all miss out, while Ollie Burke is sidelined through injury. Well, let's take a look then at Clarke's squad. No surprises with the goalkeepers. Craig Gordon, David Marshall and John McLaughlin all taking their places as expected. There are 10 defenders in the squad. Liam Cooper and Declan Gallagher make it, whilst recent recalls Grant Hanley and Jack Hendry are also staying involved. Rangers youngster Patterson is one of 5 full-backs. Liverpool's Andy Robertson will take his place as captain, with Arsenal left-back Kieran Tierney also there. Midfielders will Gilmour and Turnbull join an otherwise experienced midfield, which feature the likes of Manchester United's Scott McTominay, Southampton's Stuart Armstrong and John McGinn of Aston Villa. Only 5 forwards for Scotland, with Burke and Ollie McBurney out. Shea Adams looks most likely to start, but Lyndon Dykes of QPR is another contender. Newcastle's Ryan Fraser has been called up, despite Steve Bruce's warning over his fitness. Well, Fraser hasn't played at all since Scotland's game against Faroe Islands in late March.
Yeah, Ryan's fine, progressing well. Did well for me in the last camp, the March camp was good. And he's excited as well to be part of the squad and looking forward to the tournament. So I know what Steve is saying, but if it is a gamble and Steve thinks it's a gamble, then it's a gamble that I'm willing to take.
There we are. Kris Boyd joins us to look at the squad again. First, Kris, do you think it is a gamble to include Fraser?
No, I mean, I think it's probably Steve Bruce firing a warning to him as well, that, you know, you're going to have to get yourself fit and play. But we don't know, you know, what's the story behind the injuries and that at this moment in time as well. So, but it's a great opportunity for Ryan Fraser. It's probably not went as well as what he thought it would have been going to Newcastle. But again, this is an opportunity to go to a major competition and show that he is a talented footballer. He done really well at Bournemouth, and he's done well for Steve Clarke, as he alluded to there. He's done well in the previous camp that he was involved in, and he knows he can be an asset to his squad.
And James Forrest, of course, he's another player in the forward area who's coming back after injuries this season. What did you make of his inclusion?
Yeah, I'm excited, but I think when you look at Celtic's season, it wasn't great, but a lot of it for me was down to James Forrest missing, the season, because he's a fantastic footballer. When you look at what we've got with Scotland as well, you want to get your ball carriers, you want to get them on it, and he's definitely one with the pace, the trickery he's got. He can get it on, and he can get on the ball and make things happen in that final third. So I'm pleased that he's found himself back to full fitness, and then obviously Steve Clarke calling him up.
Well, of course, the biggest talking point is the inclusion of the 3 uncapped players. Gilmour has also spent time on the sidelines this season, but he's returned to the Chelsea team in recent weeks, and that's been enough to earn him a place in the squad. And Gilmour watched the announcement on Sky Sports News, and this filmed by his Chelsea teammate Ben Chilwell.
He can play the left side of the defence. Liam Palmer and Andrew Considine have dropped out from the last squad, by the way. They are not...
Billy Gilmour.
It's important he had the games. I think it's always important that you play games. Would he have been in? Possibly, possibly not. I don't need to answer that question because he is in. I think they all add something to the squad. Everyone goes to the training camp in Spain on a level footing. Everyone's there. They've all got their chance to play their way into the team in the Euros. It's 3 very talented players, 3 places in the squad that you have to fill in the best way possible and try and use as an advantage for the squad and the country moving forward. I think certainly Nathan Patterson and David Turnbull have caught the eye up here in Scotland this year with their performances for Rangers and Celtic. Billy Gilmour's a player that I've known for a long time. I know he's very, very well regarded at Chelsea. It was nice to see him getting a few games recently in the team, and looks as though he's over his injury and looking like his old self. So it's good to get them involved in the squad.
Steve Clarke, they're saying that those 3 new faces are there to compete. Kris, do you expect any of them to play?
Well, I hope if I hope if he does, his performances on the pitch are better than his acting skills there, as if it was just finding out that he had been named in the squad.
Pretty cool.
But, you've got to say fair play to Billy Gilmour.
Just as I was expecting.
I think that when you listen to Steve Clarke and the key things he says, they're not just coming in to make up the numbers. He knows that they can do something, they can make an impact in this squad. If you'd have said to them 6 months ago that you've been involved in the Scotland set-up, I think they would have laughed at you. They've got a period of now 3-4 weeks to get themselves ready for that opener. And, I think that they will look at this opportunity that's been given to them or presented to them to go into training. They've got a few games with Netherlands and Luxembourg to go and showcase their skills and force their way in there. But it's good for Scottish football, I think, to show that there is an opportunity there for the youngsters. There's a freshness. There's no scars in terms of international defeats or that in the past. They'll come here fresh and they'll push the experienced players all the way.
Yeah, there was slight concern, wasn't there, last night with Scott McTominay coming off with a knock in Manchester United's draw against Fulham. But the good news, I suppose, for Scotland is that that's not a concern. Clarke confirming that he will be playing in midfield.
It was only the last game where I put him into the back three against Faroe Islands because I felt we would dominate possession a lot in that game, and it was important to have Scott and Kieran on the ball at the back. So I think if you're looking at the squad I've got and the midfield players I've got, then it's pretty certain that Scott McTominay will be a midfield player for this campaign.
Yeah, well, Steve Clarke has used McTominay in a back three previously, Kris, but with Ryan Jack in particular out injured, how important is it to get him into midfield where, of course, he's impressed for Manchester United? Yeah,
well, I think that's his natural position, is definitely in that midfield. He can get box to box, but, it's really, really important now, as you say there, because of Ryan Jack's injury. I think when you look at Scott McTominay, he's somebody who can, if he's in that right-hand side, he's somebody who can get on the ball and drive forward and start the moves from the back, but it's going to be a more disciplined performance needed from him in the middle of the pitch now with Ryan Jack not there. The balance on the left-hand side you would expect with Kieran Tierney, Andy Robertson and Callum McGregor. Even if one goes forward, the other one will tuck in. Callum McGregor will fall in that area. And I think that with Ryan Jack missing in that right-hand side, that's something that Scotland need to brush up on and work really hard between now and the start of the Euros. And I think Scott McTominay will be that person, as Steve Clarke alluded to there, in the middle of the pitch with that responsibility. If Stephen O'Donnell or James Forrest or Nathan Patterson, whoever plays in that right-hand side, goes forward, that they need to have that discipline to slip in to that area there and block off any threat from the opposition on the left-hand side. So there's a big responsibility, but I'm excited. I think the squad's as strong as it's ever been in terms of Scotland, and I'm really looking forward to the Euros getting started.
It's got a prospect, isn't it? Now, Scotland, of course, are grouped alongside England, Croatia and Czech Republic. So what does Clarke see as a realistic target?
Yeah, I think it has been a feel-good story, and it's great to be involved in the tournament. We want to go to the tournament, we want to be competitive. I think when the boys won the match in Serbia on penalties, everyone got a great lift. It was a fantastic feeling. All the boys became heroes overnight. I think if we can get out the group stages in the tournament in the summer, they can become legends. So why not aim for that?
Getting out of the group stages, is that the target?
It's got to be. There's no point in just expecting to, or going to go there and make up the numbers. I think that
realistic.
Well, you've got to look. There's no point. I don't think Steve Clarke's going to go in and say, "Oh, let's go and get a point from here, a point from there, if we can afford to lose it." I know him. I've worked with him. His mindset will be to win. He's a winner. He'll want to be the first manager to take Scotland. It's a long time since we've been at a major tournament. We've never been out the group stages at a major competition. He will want to be that manager, and he'll reiterate that to his players that there's no point in just turning up here to make up the numbers. Scotland will have the confidence and belief that they can come out it, but I will say they're going to have to perform at a level that we've probably never seen a Scotland team perform at, especially in major competitions, if they're going to do that, because the opposition they're up against is difficult, and then you've got England as well.
You couldn't refuse that. Couldn't refuse the opportunity there, could you, Kris? Now, listen, great to speak to you, and it's been great to have you as well today in the studio. Thank you for your time.